Hello folks, and welcome back to the Sakuma Fishing YouTube channel. I'm Ben, aka the UK Fish Slayer, and as you can see, sat beside me today, we've got a guest. We're going to have a little chat with him. Some of you may recognise him. For those of you that are not in the know, he should need no introduction, but I'll run through a few of his fishing accolades. He is, as we speak, the current British shore-caught Conger Eel record holder. He has caught 2 mullet over £10. He's also had 3 Gilthead Bream over £8, to name but a few of his achievements. And believe me, all of those that I've just mentioned are all singular fish of lifetimes. It is the one and only Martin Larkin, aka Larks. Welcome to the channel, Mark.
Hi,
Thank
mate.
you very much for coming with us and having a chat with us.
No, not a problem. Not a problem.
So we just want to have a little chat with the viewers and just go through some of your accolades that I've just mentioned there. Let's start with the pinnacle, if you would call it the pinnacle.
The Conger Eel.
The Conger Eel. Is that the pinnacle for you?
Yeah, it is really.
Yeah.
I spent thousands of hours fishing.
Yeah.
And I kept saying it's a shame. The chap I'm going to mention his name. I'm sure he's someone mine. He's called Harry Nash. I used to say to him, I'm going to get the record one day. And he goes, I hope you do, because you keep saying it. And eventually I did, obviously. And he was still alive when I called. And he says, you said you were going to get it, but I spent thousands of hours. I didn't have a life. That's the only thing I can explain to people. I think I might have mentioned it to you before in another video. I set my target on a certain species, I go all out. And I do fish for other fish in between different times of the year, but I go all out for one fish, and that was it.
That eel, just to let everybody know at home, record-wise, how big was it?
Oh, actually, it was 72.10 when I caught it. Unfortunately, when I tried to weigh in down the old Plymouth Angling Centre, the people in question were a bit drunk, so I got a bit irate with them, and I said, "Look, I'm coming back for a weighing anyway. I didn't realise I lost so much weight." And obviously it ended up 68 pounds 8 ounces.
68, is that what's in the record books?
Yeah. And it's
that is still a big kipper.
It's a world shore record as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
There's not many people saying, world shore record. It's not just a British shore record, it's a world. But
when was it that you caught that? How long has that been in the record books for?
Well, I actually called it 1991, but when you go Google it, some say 1992, but it was in November 1991 when I called it, and that's a fact.
So that is a long-standing record.
Yes, and I'm amazed, to be honest, with the gear people's got today. The rods are better, the reels are stronger, and
well, I mean, interesting on that. What tackle did you use then?
Well,
what were you using? What was your setup? Tell the people at home, what were you using?
I was using a Daiwa high-performance match rod. But it was a good rod actually.
Yeah.
It locked up.
Okay.
You know it was soft tipped. But I was using a Shimano TSM Speedmaster, and I've still got the original reel. In fact, I've got 5 of them.
What line were you using?
I was using £50 line.
£50 line.
What you would call killer gear from the shore, because I had so many mishaps in the past. I started off with like 20s, 30s. I thought, what am I doing? I even started off with fixed balls. It's a bit like everything. It's a learning progress. But the other most interesting thing with catching an eel, big eel, the bite is so delicate, it's unbelievable. You'd think it was a spider crab today, because we get played by spiders, or a big edible, or even maybe a lobster. And a lot of people probably get takes from big eels, and before they realise it's a take, it's normally too late.
Did that same record eel give you a very subtle bite?
Oh yeah, it was just a slow, as gentle as anything.
And fight-wise, did you know you had a record? Did you know you had a proper fish on?
Instantly. I've lost bigger ones, mate.
Really?
Yeah, and I've even got one in bigger before I had that one. And the chap that went down the ladders, the steps down Devils to gap it, snapped my main line.
Yeah.
I was sick as a pig. I never went eeling for 13 months afterwards.
What, after we lost that one?
Oh, just sick as a pig, because that was the one. It was the one, mate. It was even bigger.
Yeah.
Not exaggerating. In my estimation, it was over £80.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, we could sit here and literally fill up probably an hour-long episode just talking about this record eel. But actually, I want to have a little chat with you also about some of your other accolades, because it's not just a record eel that you've caught, and you're not a one-trick pony.
No.
I mean, 2 double-figure mullet, that is something else.
Yeah, that was the Channel Islands. I'm not going to lie about that.
Well,
one was 10.5, and it was egged up. I had another one that was about 10 inches longer, but it was spawned completely out, and that was 10 pounds, half an ounce. The biggest I've had here, which is up the River Yelm, is £8, 9.5.
Yeah, so all monster fish.
Going back to a bit like Conger Eel with mullet, a lot of people get done by big mullet. They hook them, but the fight, unless you happened to hook one that was ill, you know, basically the fight is totally different. It's hard to explain until people's probably experienced it. They stay deep and they go, I'm going that way, what are you going to do about it? And most times you're like, oh, nothing. You know, so you've got to know your knots are good, your hooks hold, obviously, and you've got to know the limit. Well, that 10.5 pounder I had with a chap called Steve Bromlow, lovely bloke. He's mainly into carp fishing, he still does sea fishing. I said to him, I foul looked a 6-7 pounder in the tail, I reckon. I had 250 yards of Berkeley Vanish on, £8. And I know I had that much on, it was brand new, I just put it on, and I had about 2 yards of a trace, right? So it was a couple of yards missing. And I got down to the bottom of the spool, I had about 10 turns left. That was its first run. Lucky it was Oak Coast. It was somewhere like where we're sat now, where you wouldn't land it because you just go round them more and just go snap, see you later. Yeah. But they go deep, and they just stay deep. So any snags on the way out, rocks, with the line being bar tight, bang, you're gone. So you need a bit of luck, and I did. It went out, took all that line, and I said, oh, I think it's come off. And it come back in this bay that was fishing. But when we got it in this net, he had a carp net, which is really suitable for sea fishing. And obviously they're big, 52 inches, and they're really deep, as you know. And when he passed, he's off, he's going, as he speaks like, and I've grabbed the net. I said, oh, it ain't that big, I can't believe that. It was nailed in the top lip. And then when I pulled the net back, I went, oh my God. Because it was like that across the back.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like that, and it was just egged up. And I started doing cartwheels on the rocks. Honestly, obviously I'm going back a few years, I was a lot better and, you know, excited, and I said, yes, I've done it. And then I went back the following year with my college and Rob Wheaton, and I had another one at 10 pounds, half ounce, but it was much longer, but thin as a rake, a bit like me, a racing snake.
So it wasn't a fluke then the first time round?
Oh no, they're never flukes, mate. Not for me, they ain't. I've never been lucky enough in life fishing wise.
You've put a lot of time and effort in. I know you, over the last few years, we've done a lot of fishing together, and I know the amount of effort and time and dedication and thought that you put into your fishing. It's not luck. It's not by chance. Nothing's by chance.
No, it's like today. I'm not lying to you. I probably had 2 whales kicked last night because of the neighbours, but it was my fault as well. I was out fishing from 8 o'clock yesterday morning, and I got home, I think, about 9:15.
You were out chasing Gilthead yesterday, weren't you?
I had that one powerful bite, and that kept me there then, because I thought I might have another chance, but I didn't.
Well, that brings us in nicely to the next topic, Giltheads. And
right.
I know that you, well, and not I know, but everybody knows that you love your Giltheads. You have had 3 fish over £8.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
710's my next biggest after that.
Yeah. So I mean, and let's be clear about things, guys. When you're fishing for specimens and you're a specimen hunter, anybody can catch a singular big fish. If you're backing that big fish up with multiple captures, your 2 times £10 mullets, your 3 times £8 plus gilts, that isn't by chance and that isn't by luck. And you know, I've been fortunate enough to have a couple of nice big gilts, but what are your targets in terms of the gilts? I mean, I know how much dedication they take. Where are you looking to head? I mean, are you happy with that, what you've got?
No, no chance.
What's your target? What's your target?
Right. Well, I want the ones that I've got away, that bit me off, haven't bit me off and come off the last second after playing them for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Honestly, I've had come on, like dustbin lids. Backs like that, eyes like that. It's a sickener when they come off. And 9 times out of 10, I believe, unless you're lucky and get them in the scissors, I've only ever had 2 gills hooked down deep. The roof of their mouths is as hard as this rock.
Yeah.
And I believe what's happening, you're pointing your hook, is just caught on that tiny bit of flesh in the bone, and the moment you tire them out and get them in close, you relax and forget, that's a bone and it's massive, that little bit of slack, and it just, I've landed gilt where it's gone like that, and they've laid on their side, and the hook's just come out.
Yeah.
And I'm on about 6 pounds. You know?
Yeah, anybody that's chased them regularly, I think we could all experience that.
Yeah.
They pop the hook off as soon as you give them a little bit of slack, they're gone. What is your magic number? Well, tell me a number.
No, I'm joking aside, I'll be happy if I put one £10, half an ounce.
Yeah.
But I would like the
You're
ones
looking for the double.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you'll get it.
I've hooked them.
Yeah.
And the fish I know you people say you can't go by a bite, but you can. You get experience. When you get hit by you've experienced. You've had 8 pound, doesn't it? The bite, when you get what I call a typical big gill, sometimes it can be real gentle because then you hit them and it's just hold on, this is bigger than you think, you know. Especially the bigger ones. But the big ones is you go no, you know, because and for a mooring or whatever. I mean, lots of other people's had big fish, and there's a few people. I seen one on Facebook yesterday actually, and he actually answered the question I'd answered on. If you want a big gill, in my opinion, he uses some other squat lobster. I've never used them, so I might even give them a go if I can find them. But I've caught the £8.7 I had was on a whole mussel, live mussel, hook sat inside it. £8.6 was caught on a whole live crab. It was alive as well, still with the shell on. It was a peeler, but it was what I call a bullet peeler. The £8.5 ounce, that was caught on a big crispy hen. The £7.10 I had, I know we haven't mentioned that, but I have had a £7.10 as well, mint looking fish, fat. That was caught on a whole live crab. I've had lots of 5s and 6s on whole razor fish, and I found if you say you had 100 anglers and they all fished all year for giltheads and 90% of them use worm, 1 or 2 of them might get a good gilt. But if they all use what I just described as baits and accepted the odd blank or 2, because you do, you blank lot, as you know, the ratio of big gilts would go up. But everyone likes to catch, so everyone likes to stick a ragworm on, a lugworm on, and try and pick through the
It's
sizes.
almost like carp fishing with boilies, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's if you
28mm boilie on and pick out Arnie the big one, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what does the future hold? Where is your first passion? Is it at the moment giltheads? Is it your mullet fishing, or is it just all round? Are you just happy to do everything?
I'm happy to do everything depending on the weather. Mm-hmm. You know, we're out today placing.
We are.
Bugger all so far. You've had a nice black bream. You've had a place.
Well, it will change.
Well, you are
but
called the UK fish slayers.
I don't know about that, but yeah, you like to work according to the seasons.
Yeah.
If you've got you're secretly your passion. Are you more passionate about your giltheads, your mullet,
no giltheads.
Giltheads. That's is that your first love at this moment in time?
At this moment in time, if I could catch a £10 half ounce gilthead, that would be like me winning the lottery.
Fair enough.
You know, not maybe a big win, but winning the lottery like 100 grand or so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I've said it to you a few times.
I'd rather have a £10 half ounce gilthead than a 100 grand win on the lottery.
Yeah. Well, as I say,
everyone's different, aren't they?
They are. I've said it to you a few times, numerous times when we've been out fishing. You're going to get that fish. I do believe it. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's just the planets aligning. You will get that fish, and I really hope you do get that fish also, because you do deserve it.
But if I'm fishing somewhere, like I was fishing with Gary last week, wasn't I? You've seen what the weather's like, even you went out in it yourself. But when he caught that 5, what was it, 5? I can't remember now, 5.15, whatever, 5.14 gilthead, I was as happy for him as if I'd caught it as well, because it was like a team effort, and I gave him the choice, like, it's horrendous. It was gale force, 40 mile an hour easterlies. I said, Gad, do you want to go home? It was about 3 hours before low. I said, you know, I don't want to keep you here because it was freezing. It was wrapped tight. Like, today's got a chilly wind, even though the sun's out. And he said, no, I'll stay if you want to stay. I said, oh yeah, I'm definitely staying if you're staying. And it paid off for him, you know, and that was what I was pleased about, because he didn't give up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I go out and sometimes I'll deliberately go out in the wrong conditions, because sometimes it can pay off. It didn't pay off for me that day, but it did, because he caught that fish. And I was
No, as you
buzzing.
say, it's a team effort. When
Exactly.
you're fishing with a buddy, it is a team effort.
And he was buzzing,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing that I want to say, guys, as well. The man next to me here, he has helped a hell of a lot of people catching fish that they've never caught before, catching PBs. He has given out a hell of a lot of advice over the time, and that doesn't go unnoticed. You know, it's a real nice thing to do for people to be able to help them along, give them that advice. Not so much just taking them to a spot and saying this is what to do, but just giving tips and hints about things. And that's what he's definitely done a hell of a lot of, not just with giltheads but with all sorts of species. But I mean, as you can probably gather, we've sat here now for however long, 10 or 15 minutes, and he hasn't even started with his story. We know, but what we will be definitely doing, because I do a fair bit of fishing with Larks also, we will be catching up with him, and we will definitely be throwing in further down the line a few odd on locations sessions with us doing some fishing. You can get to see how this guy goes about his game. Probably will drag him out to do a bit of gilthead fishing, if he don't mind.
No, you don't need to drag me out to do that. Like I said, I've caught him in 55 mile an hour southwest winds.
Yeah.
Most people wouldn't even dream of going out now, would they?
Well, I know you're nuts. I think I'm nuts, and this guy here, he trumps it. But yes, as I say, he's got a lot of stories to tell. We will definitely be catching up with him, and we will definitely be doing a few sessions. And hopefully in the very near future we get to see, either in the press or ideally when we're out with the cameras, him catching that 10 pound plus gilt, because I'd love to be there to see it. And other than that, thanks a lot for coming along and having a chat with us today. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. There is plenty more of this type of thing going to be happening on the Sakuma channel moving forward. And as you can see, listening to people like this, he is a world of knowledge. I've been fishing with him for a few years, and I have changed my game when I'm fishing with him. Nobody's too big or knows it all, and when you're learning from somebody like this, you will definitely pick up tips and hints that will make your game better. So I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you again next time, and thank you very much for watching. Thanks a lot, Mark.
Cheers, guys.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.